Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and greetings everyone. My name is Mohamed Nafiz bin Mohammed Khaldun with matrix number 2019280262. Today I'm gonna talk about the local government. So what is local government? A local government can be defined as a set of elected government agencies with administrative, legislative and administrative authority over the area under its control. It is defined as an organization that adopt or set specific guidelines in specific areas. Local government are subdivision of governments of larger regimes, specific local governments such as countries and states. It deals politically with a particular local government, which is a political subdivision of a country, state and other big political entity. A city, town, or country is an administrative authority in a limited geographic area. Municipalities usually have authority only over a small geographic area and cannot enact and enforce law that affect larger areas. Local government can vote for politicians, forgive tax and perform many of the same function as a national government, but to a lesser extent. The method of electing a representative to manage public services and facility in a particular area is called a local government.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day I bid to Madam Afida and my fellow friends. My name is Ainnazurah Binti Hairuddin and today I will be delighted to talk about the background of Local Government Act 1976. This act, known as the Local Government Act 1976, applies solely to Peninsular Malaysia. This act shall enter into force in the state on the date that the state authority, after consultation with the minister, appoints in relation to the state by notification in the Gazette, and the state authority may, after consultation with the minister, appoint different dates for the coming into force of different provision of this act, and may bring all or any of the provisions thereof into force either in the whole state or in such parts of the states as may be specified. This specific act was royally assented in 18th March 1976 and gazetted in 25th March 1976. It consists of 16 parts of jurisdictions, each with multiple sections. The first schedule consists of Form A to Form J. These forms are an array of forms which needed to be filled by those who need it and those who needed various services from the local government. Meanwhile, the second schedule, Section 166, consists of 7 sections of law, each with an extent of repeal. Last but not least is the appendix. The appendix provides us with dates of all the coming into force for every local government of every state from Kedah to Johor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Mohammed Atif bin Azmi and my matric card is 2019413368, and I would like to present to you about the implementation of Local Government Act 171/1976. So, first and foremost, there are 3 types of government in Malaysia, which are federal government, state government and local government. And the highest level of government in Malaysia, as we all know, the federal government, followed by state government, and lastly, the local government. As we all know, federal government cover all the country movement, law and power. As the saying quote, with great power comes great responsibilities. So, federal government has a lot of responsibility to the country in terms of security, financial, economic, politics, law and much more. Due to a lot of area to take care of, the state government and local government provide assist or a backbone of the federal government in Malaysia. Then the federal government implement the Local Government Act 171, in which this act grants power and instruction for the local government on what power they have and tasks they need to execute under this act. So, when the establishment of the Local Government Act in 1976, the local government in Malaysia can execute their job easily as they have guideline on what they need to cover. The Act also stipulate the area to cover where they cannot do other job outside their jurisdiction, such as enforce the law for the whole citizen in Malaysia, as this is task for federal government. Even if the local government does not have as much power in terms of function, financial, as the other level of government, they do have a task which could be done within their area of power that have been given by the federal government. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now I would like to present to you about the efficiency and effectiveness of Local Government Act in terms of functional. So the first one that we can see is in environment aspect. So in section 101 of Local Government Act 171, the importance of environment has been highlighted there, where the local government need to put an eye on it to ensure the people live in their area are happy with the comfortable and harmonious environment. Furthermore, local government can supervise the cleaning matters such as garbage collection, as the citizen has really focused on that matters. Nowadays, the local government often assign the private company to manage the cleaning process in their area. For example, in Seremban Negeri Sembilan, they assign SWM Environment Sendaran Berhad to gather the garbage at Ampangan, Senawang and all area in Seremban. Apart from that, with the implementation of Local Government Act, the improvement of the needs and voice by the people had been heard thoroughly. The local government needs to play a big role in satisfying the people in terms of their demand, as they are their customer of local government. And last but not least, the local government also has power in regulatory functions, which means that the local government can enforce or establish law within their territory, and usually known as bylaw. As stated in section 102 of Local Government Act 171, the local government can enforce law from time to time, plus they can also improvise or abolish the laws if they think something needs to be changed in their area, adapted to the situation. One thing for sure is every local government has their bylaw, and it is not applicable to the other local government. For example, the Kajang Municipal Council has established law that the parking fee for public parking is 50 cents for 30 minutes, and different places has different fee according to their local government asks. So it is obvious that every local government in Malaysia are providing the best services that have been guided in the Local Government Act, where the people in their area is the prioritization. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Azaliya Aqila. I will present about the efficiency and effectiveness of local government in financial management. Efficiency and effectiveness of local government in financial management. In terms of financial administration, local governments have their own financial institution that handle all aspects of financial management. People who work in the finance sector of local government, for example, play a significant role, especially when it comes to handling money for district changes. To summarize, they have the authority to spend money in accordance with their declared intention in the Act. If we analyze at Part 5, the Local Government Act of 1976, Act 171 has general financial provisions. We can see that it defines the power. Under this section, there are 14 sections that outline the financial authorities granted under the Local Government Act of 1976. The revenue of the local government was also specified in section 39. It claimed that the local government must create revenue and profit in order for all its plans to function properly. There are a few factors to consider in order for the local government to handle financial efficiency and productivity. For instance, they can figure out what the local government's financial goals are. They may, for example, conduct some research on the budget drought before finalizing it to ensure that they are not overcharged for something that is unimportant. Take, for example, Majlis Perbandaran Manjung (MPM), which used to do things like redecorate a specific location in order to attract visitors to Perak. This is an example of how the local government should look back at the budget planner to ensure that their aims and objectives are still accomplished. Besides that, examine any deviations from the plans by comparing them to the plans. As a result, it's clear that the control process is the one that has to be prioritized. Control is a process of assessing and adjusting performance to ensure that the company's objectives are met for achieving them are accomplished. There are a few factors to consider in order for the local government to handle financial efficiency and productivity. For instance, they can figure out what the local government's financial goals are. They may, for example, conduct some research on the budget draft before finalizing it to ensure that they are not overcharged for something that is unimportant. Take, for example, Majlis Perbandaran Manjung (MPM), which used to do things like redecorate a specific location in order to attract visitors to Perak. This is an example of how the local government should look back at the budget planner to ensure that their aims and objectives are still accomplished. Besides that, examine any deviations from the plans by comparing them to the plans. As a result, it's clear that the control process is the one that has to be prioritized. Control is a process of assessing and adjusting performance to ensure that the company's objectives are met for achieving them are accomplished. The control process has 4 phases, the first of which is the determination of smart standards. A standard can refer to a certain collection of variables pertaining to any company, individual, or group of individuals working in departments. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based should all be included in the standard. Second, standards might apply to an organization's department or divisions. The standards that have been developed are for the entire organization and will subsequently be divided into individual organizations or departments. It is therefore the individual responsibility to ensure that the standard can be met within the time frame given. The next step is to assess your performance. The topic that has to be considered is the measurement and assessment of performance, as well as the creation of standards for technical and non-technical labor. Correction of performance deviations is the fourth step. To discover continuous monitoring and evaluation of actual performance is carried out when deviations from preset standards occur, but it's far more important to take the necessary corrective action not just to repair present problems but also to prevent them from occurring in the future.
Hi, I'm Zubairi Aizat bin Mohamed Hisham. My matric card number 2019805816. I'm going to continue from here. Next, the local government may earn by issuing license to persons who wish to start a business, particularly those who need to set up a stand along a side road. This business owner will seek authorization and a license from the local government and other relevant agencies. And once approved, he or she will apply for the license. It can be seen through the technique that many individuals who have been conducting business must apply for a license from the local government, and that the local authority may benefit from this. The local government's profit will be derived from the fee they charge. The assessment tax was also levied by the municipal government. This tax will be assessed based on the annual rental value of the property. It is computed at a rate of 6% for residential properties and is paid in 2 installments each year by local government. It is local and tax that the local government collects to assist pay the construction and upkeep of local infrastructure and services.
In conclusion, local government have demonstrated over the last 2 decades that they can promote sustainable development, and in some situation, begin more responsive local processes than national government and international government itself. Sustainable development is well localized and no longer a remote theoretical concept, but rather a meaningful concept that is evoked in daily life. In addition to the foregoing, the international community may find it beneficial to abandon the practice of negotiating individual domestic reduction target as a proportion of existing emissions. Instead, we must accept global average per capita constraints for natural resources exploitation and usage. The carrying capacity of the world ecosystem can be used to derive these limits, which are applicable to all countries. If compensation for past highly unequal use of resource can be taken into account, national reduction targets and development corridors, both north and south, as well as the local goal, can be based on them. Finally, this strategy makes inter-area access and emission trading schemes easier to implement. And I think that's all from us. Thank you.